Hi everyone, so today I thought I would do a voiceover of my ride. I haven't done one of these in literally years. I think the last time I actually did one of these, like similar to this, like riding at home, was 2 years ago in 2017. So, yeah, let me know if you guys like these videos because these are really easy to do. So, and I could just like sit down and voice over them with a cup of tea and just like relax. But yeah, so as you can see, Chili is dressed up for jumping. Not that we were doing jumping that day, but I find doing pole work in a jump saddle is a lot easier. Plus, I'm trying to use my jump saddle more because I need to learn how to ride in it because it's just been fitted to Chili. So I've been mostly riding her in a dressage saddle, and the jump saddle I was riding her in like didn't fit me at all. But I find with the jump saddle I get a much close contact, like a more close contact feel, which is really good at the moment because she's been quite, I don't know what it is, she's not really been herself lately. I don't know whether it's because of the heat or maybe she's a little bit body sore. My body worker has gone away, otherwise I would just like get the body worker out to check her over, but she's coming back in March, so fingers crossed we can sort all that out before our first few events. But I've got Pony Club this weekend, so I wanted to do some work with her. It was really hot, as you can see. It was like 35 degrees still at like 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So I kept it quite simple today, and we were just working on trot to walk transitions over poles, and we had a little bit of a canter as well, but nothing too strenuous because, as I said, she hasn't really been feeling 100%, and I'm not too sure why. She isn't exactly lame, but she's not exactly like 100% either. So I'm not too sure, but I'm hoping that I'll know a little bit more on the weekend. So because she obviously feels a little bit better off property, I'll be able to tell if she's sore or anything, and then we'll sort it out. But at the moment, I was just doing really light work with her just to keep her ticking over. And yeah, but fingers crossed it's just because of the heat and she's just coming into work. And I'm not sure whether I'm feeding her enough either because obviously I don't want to overfeed the thoroughbred, but you know, she's really lazy at the moment. So I'm like, well, I don't know. But yes, I finally decided to get on apparently. But yeah, as I said, I've been struggling a lot, like ever since I've had Chili with contact. She's currently in a Wilkie at the moment, which I don't usually ride her in, but I was jumping her the other day and I just had it left on the bridle. I've actually found that she's a lot happier in the Grackle, which is kind of funny because it's Penny's bridle, and Penny was also quite similar. I've also usually do flat work in a Springer snaffle or something like that, but it just wasn't on the bridle that day. So I am having the issue of her literally just like pulling against it and just bracing her jaw, if that makes any sense. It's kind of difficult because I don't have anyone on the ground to show you guys what I'm talking about, but you'll see it in some of the clips and I'll point it out as well. She just completely braces against me, and it could be because I don't have enough leg because I am a power rider to back that up, because the person that rode her, like used to own her, was a bodybuilder and she's like buff as hell, so I'm like a little stick compared to her. So I don't know, maybe it's just different rider or something, but I have tried to use spurs on her as well to make it easier, but she gets quite offended at the spurs. But at the same time, that was when she, I think, was having a little bit of a flare with ulcers, so I may try them on her again and see how that goes. But as you can see, she just completely like folds into my inside leg and doesn't really like get off it at all. So there's like no bend through her body, although we weren't like working on anything right now. I'm just walking her around to warm her up a little bit, and she's so lazy. So I actually got this exercise off Elfic Eventing Ponies or Horses or something like that. I'll link her channel below anyway. She has some really cool exercises and stuff on there, and she has some really good vlogs up as well. So basically this this exercise was to trot and then like do a downward transition before the poles. That way you could get like a transition so they weren't like falling on their face kind of. And as you can see into the trot transition here, she lifts her head a lot and just protests, which is really, really frustrating. I don't know why. Again, it's probably because I don't have enough leg on, etc., etc. And the same with the downward transition. She pulls against me. Like you can see it there. She just like puts her nose out and completely ignores me. And another really, really bad transition. So it does get better as the ride progresses and I get a little bit firmer with her, but I'm a little bit at loss with what I'm supposed to be doing with her. So as I said, I'm really hoping Pony Club will be a bit of an eye-opener to have a different coach and just a little bit more help with her. But yeah, she looks really awkward in this, but it's literally just a stabilization. She's not head bobbing or anything. The GoPro just makes it look like she's like literally dog laying, but she's not, I promise. The stabilization makes it look really weird. So this was a much better transition. Although she's still trying to poke her nose to the outside, I was a lot more firm and just said, no, like this is where I want you to be right now. Like she's warmed up enough now that I can expect her to come into the contact a little bit. But as you can see, she just, I don't know really what it is. She just kind of hangs on my rein and doesn't soften to it as well as what I was hoping. She spooks at she spooks at her shadow over this. And I'm like, seriously, Chili? Like, you've done eventing before. Like, this is poles. Poles are something you've seen before. And like, again here, I don't know whether it's because I'm so inconsistent with my contact as well. But at the same time, she knows to give to Rain aid now. So I don't know if, wow, that was like a voice crack and a half. I don't know whether she's just kind of pulling the piss as well because I don't tend to get up her. Like when I do get up her, she works really, really well and then I feel really bad. But it's not like I'm being mean or nasty. I kind of just end up giving her like a really strong half halt and really pushing her up into it. So, and then she's like, oh, and I'm like, yeah. And then we have an epiphany and then it's all good. But sometimes I kind of just mess around too much and don't get I don't want to say stroppy, but I don't get tough with her until like it's too late and she's already kind of like realised that she can get away with it. So like right here I was doing a few circles with her and she looks really uneven and unbalanced, which she is. She's not really working properly from behind. I don't know whether it's because I've put too much brakes on or I've kind of taken her forward away because she was a really different ride, so I've kind of made her really lazy or something. I have no idea. But as you can see, there's just no inside flexion there at all. And I am trying to put my leg on, but as I said, I don't have much use of my legs, so it makes it really difficult. So to the right, she's a lot better. I think it's because my left leg works a lot better, so my outside leg tends to hold her through the circle, and then I can use my inside leg to bend her. But yeah, as I said, we're just doing a few circles here, and I kind of got lost on the track of doing circles and forgot about my exercise that I set up, which is a common thing that happens with me. So after realising I was getting nowhere with the circles, I kind of gave up with them and did a little bit of, like, as you can see here, she's just got no flexion at all and she fights it so much. Like right there she gave and I gave her a pat and I was like, see, that's all you need to do just in the trot. And it's so frustrating because like I know she can do it and I know I can do it, but I just don't understand what's stopping us. But yeah, so I gave up with the circles because I was like, oh yeah, I've got my exercise, like you stupid bitch, like that's what you're supposed to be doing today. So I just had a walk break because it was so hot and I just wanted to like refocus my thoughts before I got frustrated or angry at myself, because I tend to do that a lot because I know I can ride so much better and I don't understand why I can't and like why it's not working. It's just so frustrating for me. So you'll notice in the next clip as I do a trot to walk transition how much brace she has and how little she doesn't like to give to the rein aid. So here she's nice and soft and then she sees the poles and then completely braces her neck and her jaw and lifts her head right up in the air as we're going through the transition. And this is something that really frustrates me. And then again, she like pushes on my leg and doesn't get off it and then bulges and it's just a big fat mess. So again, she's nice and soft here for the transition, and then about here she starts bracing and fussing with her head and going to the outside, and I'm like, no, so I open my inside rein to help her out because that's what my instructor told me to do, and it helps a little bit, and then again, I ask her to come down. That transition was much better, but she's still putting her head up in the transition, although she didn't bulge that time, so I was pretty happy with that. And then I changed the rein for something different. And then this transition, I made sure to get it a little bit better, although she still put her head up. It was definitely a lot better than the ones we'd had before. So we come around to the poles again, and then she's nice and soft. Like this is really, really nice for her. And then the same thing, she braces in the transition, sticks her nose out and then bulges through her shoulder. I'm really, really tempted to like, I know this sounds really bad, but and then I asked for a walk to canter transition then because I was kind of getting a little bit frustrated and I was like, I just need to get off her back and have a little bit of fun. So I pop her into canter and she's still again to the outside, not bending to the inside. So I think I don't end up doing another circle, but I make her come down to the walk again. And then again, she braces really hard against my hands and I make her stop and soften because that's not on. I'm really getting over it at this point. I'm never frustrated or angry at her or unfair, but I was getting tired of not being listened to, so I allow her to stretch there because she behaved and did what I asked. So I have another little walk break here. Again, just to reinstill that was good, that's what I wanted. And see, she stretches really nicely in the walk, so I don't know. I'm a little bit confused. So after another little walk break, I make sure to get a nice soft transition, which she gave me there, which I was really, really happy with. And then she fights it again. And then I continue on with the exercise. I try and ignore it as much as I can, but it is really frustrating, as you can imagine. So right here, she bulges and completely disregards me again. And the same thing, transition, she sticks her head right up in the air and refuses to give to the contact, which is frustrating because I don't understand why she's not, because then she gives to it here and I'm like, what? And then again, the transition, I didn't allow the transition then because she was going to just stick her head up, and I made sure to put my leg on and ask her to come down rather than just yang it and stick her head in the air. So this rein is her better rein. As you can see, she's a lot more softer and she's a lot more bent to the inside more of the time, and the evasions are far less few, and when they are, they're usually bigger, but they're less, if that makes any sense at all. It probably doesn't, but as you can see, again, she's evading, and I've really asked her to, like, no, that's not what we're doing right now. So yeah, I think we just do another couple circles of me trying to get her bent off my inside leg, and I think we change direction up here as well. Yep. And then as you can see, as soon as we change direction, she just kind of falls and doesn't sit herself up properly, and there's no bend or flexion or anything in that jaw. She just locks it and locks to the outside. But yeah, I might speed a little bit up so you can see some moments of softness and whatnot, but it's kind of boring because we're only doing flat work at the moment. So again, I do another upward transition to trot, making sure that I keep her soft into the bridle, and like right there, she went to go brace against me, so I asked her, no, like that's not what we're going to do. I expect this of you, and this is how you're going to do it. I definitely need to be more firm in that sense, because I think that's half the problem. I've let her get away with it for so long because I'm not the best rider. So she's a lot more softer here, which is nice. This is obviously her good rein too. And again, she protests occasionally, but I just need to kind of ignore it and accept the good when I can. So this is nice for her, and I wait until she's soft into the bridle to ask for canter, which is right here, I think, and she runs into it a little bit, but we need to work on our canter transitions. It's something that I'm aware of, and it's not going to happen overnight. So I just take her for a little bit of a canter just to blow some steam off. I don't want to like canter her too much because it's really hot. It was really hot this day, so I just turn her around in like a half 10 meters, well, not half 10 meter, probably like a half 20 meter circle, and then change the rein again, and then work on this rein for a little bit longer. But I'm pretty much ready to call it quits. She's done what I asked her to do. She's starting to soften now, which is nice. She is trying. Again here, she's really protesting me. I'm like, no, we're not doing this anymore. And for the next half circle, she softens really nicely and really starts to show me some nice work. So after this, I just bring her back to a walk and make sure that the downward transition is soft and that she's still moving forward. So that was quite a nice transition. I give her a pat until she's really good. So that's pretty much my ride done. And then for the next 5 minutes, I just walk her off, which I'm not going to put in. So, and when I cool her off, I make sure to still keep a bit of a contact. I just ask her to bend and flex a little bit because obviously if we're having the issues in the trot, it all starts in walk. So one of the exercises my instructor wanted me to do was walk to halt transitions while keeping her while keeping her on the bit or like into a contact. So right here, she does that last transition wasn't the best, so we went and did another one. I'm sorry I'm stuttering so much. I'm like, the video keeps pausing and then I pause. It's like, oh my god, for God's sake. So right here, this transition was not too bad. She wants to go back to the gate there, and I'm like, no, that's not what we're doing. So I just move her shoulders over again, move back to the fence line, and then again here, I ask for a transition. Even with a long range, she still manages to keep soft, and then, yeah, it was nice and square. So I gave her a pat, and then just ended up getting off. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will try to do another one and actually voice over in real time when there's not people there. But yeah, so I can definitely do one of these videos once a week. It's something that it's really easy to do and it's kind of enjoyable to watch back my rides. So anyways, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!